thrilling encounter at Wembley ends in glory for the Reds as Chelsea fall short in the lottery. Watch until the end of this review to hear all of my thoughts on today's match. Hello people, welcome to my channel, welcome to another video. This is my review of the match that took place this afternoon at Wembley Stadium in the Carabao Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool, which ended in a 0-0 draw after extra time but finished 11-10 to Liverpool on penalties. So what I'm going to do for you guys in terms of this review is that firstly I'll run you through the lineup that Thomas Tuchel fielded at the start of the match. I will then run you through my thoughts on the match itself, and I will be breaking it down into the first half and the second half from the first 90 minutes. I will then be doing the exact same for the extra time period, and I will be giving you guys my thoughts on the penalty shootout. And in addition to all of that, I'll be giving you guys the positives and the negatives that I took from the match. And lastly, I'll be giving you guys my thoughts on Chelsea's FA Cup 5th round tie that will be taking place next Wednesday away to Luton Town with kickoff at 7:45 PM UK time. So without further ado, let's get straight into this review. So we shall begin this review by taking a look at the lineup that Thomas Tuchel fielded at the start of the match. And yes, we shall begin by talking about the formation that he chose to go with. And in the case of this lineup, it was a 3-4-3/3-4-2-1. And in terms of the personnel he chose, he went with Edouard Mendy in goal. The back three was made up of Trevor Chalobah in the right centre-back position, Thiago Silva in the middle, with Antonio Rudiger in the left centre-back position. The midfield four, including the two wing-backs, was made up of Cesar Azpilicueta in the right wing-back position, N'Golo Kante and Mateo Kovacic occupying the two central midfield positions, with Marcos Alonso playing as the left wing-back. And the front three was made up of Mason Mount, who was in the right forward position, Kai Havertz who was up front, and Christian Pulisic, who was in the left forward position. So that is the lineup that Thomas Tuchel fielded at the start of today's Carabao Cup final against Liverpool. Now, in terms of my thoughts on the match, and yes, I'm going to begin by talking about my thoughts on the first half of the first 90 minutes. I have to say that we made a great start to the match. We put Liverpool on the back foot, we put them under pressure. We had a glorious chance inside the opening 6 minutes that really should have saw us open the scoring. Kai Havertz gave the ball, I think it was Kai Havertz anyways. The game was that long that I might forget to mention some key details, but anyways, the ball was given to Cesar Azpilicueta down on the right hand side, who then put it into the box for Christian Pulisic to put the ball into the back of the net, and he just hit the ball straight at the keeper. And in all honesty, he should have done better. He should have scored, and it's as simple as that. I don't care if that was his weak foot. He should have scored, and it's as simple as that. Mason Mount had a good chance in the first half, which I'll get into as well. But yes, we did continue to put them under pressure, and we give me a few seconds. We created some good chances. Mason Mount did have a chance where the ball was given to him from a player who was in the left wing position at the time in which Mason Mount got the ball, and he had the chance to get his shot off early, but he took too long, he took too many touches, and his shot ended up getting blocked. Mateo Kovacic, I think it was, had a follow-up shot that was also blocked. But um, after our period of dominance in the first half, or in the first part of the first half, Liverpool got into it. They started to get up the pitch, force us back. They pegged us back really well. They won an uncomfortable. They won an They won an uncomfortable amount of set pieces, particularly corners and free kicks. And thankfully, we were able to defend them really well. But what I will say is that they also had a gilt-edged chance to open the scoring, and it came through Sadio Mane after Naby Keita forced Edouard Mendy to make a save. It was a really good save, and I say that, but it's a save that Edouard Mendy should be making, especially with the fact that he is one of the best keepers on the planet. I said what I said, but yeah, he saved it, he parried it. He did kind of parry it back into danger, but thankfully he was able to get down really quickly and stop Sadio Mane from scoring and concede a corner. Cesar Azpilicueta was there as well, but yes, it was a great save by Edouard Mendy, and thankfully the resulting corner came to nothing. They also had a couple of free kicks, but again they didn't really come to much. And I actually thought that we finished the first half really strongly. Mason Mount had a gilt-edged chance to score, and he really should have done better. The ball came into him, and he literally hit the ball wide of the target. And with how close he was, he should have done a lot better. And I have to say that Christian Pulisic did play his part in the build-up to that chance by driving with the ball and passing it off to him. But what I will say is that overall, I have to say it was an even first half, and I cannot fathom how it ended goalless. In I cannot fathom how the first half ended goalless, because there were a number of clear-cut chances for both teams, and it's just, honestly, I can't believe it. But yes, it was an even first half in my opinion. In terms of my thoughts on the second half of the first 90 now, I have to say that we made a great start to the second half. We created some great chances. I'm not going to go through all of them because we'd be here all day, and I don't particularly want this review to be too long. But yes, Mason Mount had a gilt-edged chance to score, and honestly, when he took the shot, I thought it was going to go in, but he hit the post, and I cannot fathom how he hit the post. I mean, he that was a better chance than the chance he had, the gilt-edged chance in the first half that he had, might I add. But yes, it was a great ball over the top from one of our players. I think it was Kai Havertz. I'll have to look at it again, but it was a great ball over the top towards him, and he did do really well to get it under control. But the finish was just not great at all. But yes, that was one of the chances that we had in the second half. We did have a few more. Thomas Tuchel did bring on some players off the bench. He brought on Romelu Lukaku, he brought on Thibaut Werner, he brought on Reece James as Cesar Azpilicueta went off with an injury, and Reece James for me did really well when he came on. He was getting back really well. He did have a couple of iffy moments, but that is understandable given that he hasn't played in almost 2 months, if I'm not mistaken. I think the last time he played was against Brighton and Hove Albion at Stamford Bridge, where we drew 1-1, of course, but anyways, I digress. But yes, he did bring on some substitutes, and I thought that helped us get forward in the latter stages of the second half. And after the first part of the second half, I have to say that Liverpool did get into it. They did create some glorious chances. They did get close to our goal. They did managed to get in behind us on a number of occasions, particularly down their left hand side through Luis Diaz, who I thought had a really good game. For me, he was their best player, hands down. Trevor Chalobah had his work cut out, but I have to say that Trevor Chalobah did do really well against him. But yes, there were a flurry of chances in the second half. Liverpool did have a disallowed goal, and it was correctly disallowed for offside. And had Virgil van Dijk not been offside, it probably would have been given or chalked off because he was pulling Reece James in the build up to the goal. But yes, I'll be honest, I thought it was going to stand and I thought we were going to lose from that point. But, anyways, it got disallowed and rightly so. We also had a couple of disallowed goals. Kai Havertz had two disallowed goals. One was a header and it was correctly ruled out for offside. He had another one where he got the ball in the left channel and he shot the ball or hit the ball into the bottom corner, and again it was correctly ruled out for offside. We also had a couple of other situations where we were denied a chance to get a shot off or create a chance due to a player being in an offside position. And in all honesty, I've not seen a team be in offside positions as often as us, and that is something that we need to work on. But yes, honestly, with the way the second half went, I cannot fathom how it ended goalless. I just can't believe it. But what a first 90 minutes. We move into my thoughts on. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to summarise. I have to say that overall, I think it was a fair result. As in, I think that in the first 90 minutes, it was fair that it ended 0-0 in the sense that both teams were doing everything correctly in a sense, but the finishing just wasn't there. But yeah, in terms of my thoughts on the extra time period, I have to say that we did really well in extra time. In both the first half and the second half, we created some glorious chances. Liverpool did as well, but I think that we did get into better positions, and I think that substitutions didn't necessarily help them, but you can understand why Jurgen Klopp made the substitutions, and that's not me criticising them because, of course, it worked out for them in the end and they won the competition. But I was watching the match with a Liverpool fan, and he said that they did lose a bit of rhythm when Jurgen Klopp made the substitutions that he made, and that did help us get through and that did help us get into good positions. But I did think that we were a bit too slow on certain occasions. Timo Werner did have a chance where the ball was crossed into the box and he jumped too early, and had he not jumped too early, he would have headed that, and that probably would have been a goal because Timo Werner is actually pretty good in the air, and believe it or not, he actually is. But yes, that was one of the good chances that we had in extra time. Another chance that we had came through Romelu Lukaku, where Marcos Alonso was literally close to kissing the byline, and he managed to get the ball into the box, and Romelu Lukaku flicked it towards goal, but he just didn't get enough on it. And had he got enough on it, that definitely would have been 1-0 because the pace would have beaten Kevin Kelleher. But yes, he did make a good save. But yes, overall, I have to say it was an entertaining game. That's easily the best 0-0 I've ever watched, and I can't believe I'm saying that. But I'll say it anyway, I'll say it again, that was easily the best 0-0 I've ever watched. But yes, based on the way both sides played, I think 0-0 was fair. I think a draw was a fair result in terms of the period before the penalties, of course. But in terms of the penalty shootout, I have to say that there were 21 brilliant penalties, and the one that lost us the game was just poor. I know that there are people out there who are going to blame the finishing, and I completely agree with that. But at the same time, I have to say that while Kepa can't be blamed for the fact that he missed a penalty, because of course goalkeepers don't really train in that regard. they obviously train on obviously train in the opposite end of the spectrum, in the sense that they obviously train to save penalties and not take them. But yes, what I didn't like about that penalty shootout is the way Kepa kept trying to get into the faces of the Liverpool players before they were about to step up to take the penalties, and um, I have to say that despite that, I have to give credit to the Liverpool players for their penalties because they were brilliant. There was one that Kepa should have done a lot better with. In fact, two, the Fabinho one, and if I'm not mistaken, the Harvey Elliott one. But I'm not going to go too hard on him because it's a lottery, anything can happen. And it's just a shame that it happened. But yes, can't win them all. Congratulations to Liverpool. It was a thrilling encounter, as I said at the very start of this video. But yes, again, congratulations to Liverpool. They are now the most successful team in this competition with 9 titles, and for us, we just have to go again next year. But yeah, that's it for my thoughts on the match. I really do not know if I've missed anything out or if I can add anything else because that game was almost 3 hours long. But yes, I will do my very best to respond, and we're going to move on. I think the fact that the match was almost 3 hours long made me almost forget to give you guys the positives and the negatives that I took from the match, so we're going to do it now. I took 1 positive and 2 negatives, and the only positive that I took from the match is that the performance was very strong. I thought we played really well. I thought we played out of our skin. We dealt with the pressure that they put on us or put us under really well. I have to say we defended exceptionally well. All of our defensive players played really well, and Edouard Mendy included, of course. He was, for me, the best player on the pitch. And the only thing that was missing is something that I'm going to touch on in a little bit. But yes, that was the only positive that I took from the match, and it's a really good positive. But yes, we move into the 2 negatives, and the first negative is that our finishing in the first 90 minutes, as well as the extra time period, just wasn't good enough. And honestly, that is something that will keep costing us. But yeah, that's the first negative. The second and final negative is the fact that we got caught offside on too many occasions. Honestly, we really need to fix up. And as I said already, I've not seen a team get caught offside as often as us. I just can't believe it. It happens too many times. But yes, that's the second and final negative. And yes, that was meant to be the last part of my thoughts on the final. And I do apologise for forgetting. Like I said, that's just what happens when a match is almost 3 hours long. But yes, that is it for my thoughts on the match. I'll say it again. Do feel free to drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will do my very best to respond. Now we're going to move on to my thoughts on our upcoming FA Cup 5th round tie. Let's do it. Now, to end this review, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on our upcoming FA Cup 5th round tie that will be taking place next Wednesday at Kenilworth Road against Luton Town, with kickoff at 7:15 p.m. UK time. Honestly, if we play the way we did and actually take our chances, then we have every chance of going through to the quarterfinals, if I'm not mistaken anyways. But honestly, I am looking forward to it. Hopefully we can put this defeat behind us and get through to the next round of the FA Cup and get ourselves a good run in the FA Cup, because it's about time we won that as well. But yes, I'm looking forward to it. I will be doing a preview for that one, so do stay tuned for that. But this is it. That is it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, please do let me know if I've missed anything, because there is a strong chance that I have, given that the match was almost 3 hours long. But that is it. I'll see you all very soon. Come on, you Blues. Come on, Thomas Tuchel. Just before I go, I'm going to say it again. Congratulations to Liverpool and peace.